Hey guys, this is Vanessa Hoy. I'm one of the nurse practitioners here at Pediatrics West. I'm here today to talk about frequent topics that come up during the summertime as we spend more time with our children outside. So one of the topics that I'm going to talk about is skin care and taking care of our skin and sun exposure. So the best thing we can do is make sure that we don't get sunburnt. So if your child's going to spend more than 20 minutes outside, they need to probably put some sunscreen on. And we usually recommend using a sun lotion with SPF of 30 or greater. The other thing that you can do is always make sure that they have lots of hats, things like long sleeve shirts, and plenty of shade to be in if needed. Little babies, the best thing that you can do is make sure that they are under shaded spots. They have large brim hats, and if they're going to go swimming, wear things like sun shirts and things like that. If your child does get a mild sunburn, the best thing that you can do is just make sure that they get really well hydrated over the next 24 to 48 hours and do things like put soothing aloe on burns that really seem uncomfortable. Another summer annoyance that can happen is bug bites. So bug bites, it's also better to avoid them if possible. So wear things like long sleeve shirts, pants, especially when you are going places like camping or on hikes. The other thing that you can do is you can use insect repellent with DEET. Just little children, make sure that you're not putting it on their hands, and you shouldn't use it on children under the age of 2 months. After they come in from their hike or from camping, make sure that you wipe off any of the insect repellent or have them take a shower. Bug bites definitely happen, so the things that you can do are symptomatic. So if it's really itchy, things that you can do is use your fingernail or a pen cap and put direct pressure on the bug bite, which will help with itching. You can also use calamine or 1% hydrocortisone cream. If the bite is really painful, you can do things like give your child ibuprofen. You can use a cool wet rag for 15 to 20 minutes, and also things like using a cotton ball with baking soda and a little bit of water will help. Keep your kids' nails really short if they're really itching, because if they itch that bug bite, sometimes it can cause an area to be infected. So if after a couple days that bug bite is really painful, any drainage or streaking, we would need to see them in office to make sure it's not infected. Another thing that comes up during the summer are seasonal allergies. So some of the symptoms of seasonal allergies are clear drainage from the nose, sneezing, red, itchy eyes, sometimes coughing. And the biggest culprit from those things usually is tree pollen in the spring, cut grass in the summer, and then in the fall, usually ragweeds. So things that you can do to help avoid staying away from those things is really important. Showering every night during that season that your child's having a lot of symptoms, washing their hair, sometimes cleaning the bedding a little bit more frequently is important to keep the allergen off of their body. If they have a lot of itchy eye symptoms, you can flush your child's eye with water and wash their hands really good, and just try to talk to them about trying not to itch their eyes, because that can make it worse. If a lot of nasal congestion, you can do things like nasal washes or nasal saline drops. And if the symptoms really seem to be persistent, you can talk to your medical provider about adding a daily antihistamine, things like Zyrtec, Claritin, sometimes some Flonase. So always give us a call if you wanted to talk about that. The last thing is, over the summer, a lot of us are trying to get out of the heat. And so we're frequently around water sources, trying to cool off. Unfortunately, it still remains that the leading cause of death is accidental drowning in children under the age of 4. So we just need to be really vigilant with children that are small when they're around water sources. So some of the things that I always talk about is you should always be within arm's reach of your small children if there's any kind of water source around, especially at pools, lakes, things like that. And then never leave them alone, just because it can take seconds before they get into trouble. The other thing is, there's things like water wings, noodles, all those types of things that are really fun, but they should not be relied upon for safety of your child. At 6 months, children can start to enjoy the water and the pool, but it's not till about 4 that they can start taking swim lessons and really start understanding how to keep themselves safe in the pool. Older children, so I always talk about, just making sure that children that are older are checking the depths of pools, of lakes before diving or jumping into those pools to avoid things like injuries for too shallow of waters. Also, accidents happen, so I think it's important for every parent to learn basic CPR. You can always check with your local rec center, and they a lot of the times will provide classes for those basic CPR classes. So have fun this summer. Always let us know if you need anything. Stay safe, and have a great summer.